First tonight, 3 local school districts in a nearby college closed today due to an active threat reported by Springfield police. Lydia Bice now joining us live outside of Springfield High School. Lydia, what have you been able to learn about what led up to these closures?
Elise, I just heard from the city of Springfield about an hour ago who told me that this all kind of started with a shooting at 803 South Center Street on yesterday. Now, when police arrived on scene, they found 38-year-old Tiffany Higgins had been shot and killed. But while they investigated her death, they also learned that the suspect was planning to shoot unknown individuals at a local school. That's why Springfield City Schools, Springfield Clark Career Technical Center, Yellow Springs Schools, and Clark State were closed today. Now, Springfield Schools did send us a statement saying, quote, late on March 17th, the Springfield City School District was informed of an active police investigation involving threats that directly impacted our schools, making the immediate closure of all district facilities necessary for Monday, March 18th, 2024. This decision was made to ensure the safety of our students and staff. The Springfield Police Division did notify the Springfield City School District of the apprehension of the suspect in the case, and as a result, the district will return to normal operations tomorrow. So I just got off the phone with the Springfield Post of the Ohio State Highway Patrol within the last 30 minutes who confirmed that the suspect in this case is a 16-year-old male who was arrested in the 500 block of Linden Avenue in Springfield around 1 a.m. So we're still working to learn exactly how the suspect and victim in this case are related, if at all. But again, the suspect was apprehended around 1 a.m. this morning. Back to you.
Lydia, thank you. Tonight we're learning the names of the people who died in last week's tornadoes. The Logan County Sheriff's Office says these here are the 3 people killed in that storm. Darla Williams, Neil Longfellow, and Marilyn Snap. They died Thursday night when that EF3 tornado touched down in Logan County, causing significant damage to the Lakeview area where they lived. And cleanup and recovery efforts are still underway tonight in Logan County, but you need to be aware of scammers. Kasha Hancock spoke to an expert about how you can protect yourself if you plan to donate to efforts. Kasha, what did they tell you?
Elise, I spoke to a cybersecurity expert, and while many people want to help those tornado survivors, there are things that they should be cautious of. After Thursday night's devastating tornado that hit Logan County, many residents were left with nothing. Community groups and churches are now helping to pick up the pieces and help families restore hope by rebuilding their homes, creating GoFundMe pages, and starting charities. But even as people make the choice to donate, they are warned to watch out for scammers using this devastating situation just to get their money. Senior fellow at the University of Dayton Center of Cybersecurity and Data Intelligence, Dave Salisbury, says there's obvious things people should look for before donating.
Try to get it all under control before you even put a donation down. Sit back and look at the situation, look at the organization you're dealing with, look at the specificity of the claim.
The country. It is the first program in the country to destroy both firefighting foam and PFAS without any harmful byproducts, something fire departments across the state need.
Many of them have this, and they are asking us, well, what do we do with it? And up until now, there's no real good way to dispose of it. You either contaminate the air, or you contaminate the water, or you just hold on to it forever.
Now, the state is using $3 million from settlement money to actually fund the program. The settlement was part of an enforcement case against Monsanto, which was first filed back in 2018. Tonight, the Ohio National Guard is looking for new recruits. Officials say its recruiting has actually been tough ever since the start of the pandemic 4 years ago. COVID reduced their access to schools, making it difficult to connect in the community and look for soldiers. The Guard supports both federal and state needs, meaning they have a large impact here in the Miami Valley during difficult times.
The National Guard is the organization that you can join and serve here in your hometowns. We're the ones that would support you in a need, just like we are in Logan County right now, on the ground supporting the disaster there with debris removal.
The Ohio National Guard does offer scholarship programs for students. If you're interested in learning about joining the Guard, head to nationalguard.com. We want to give you a live look right now from UD Arena, where you can see the first four is getting underway. Teams are practicing ahead of the NCAA tournament's start. The first four kicks off tomorrow. Tonight is practice, of course. The competition brings in people from all over the country to see teams duke it out for the last spots in the tournament bracket.
We want everybody to come to the games. You know, these are teams that aren't local teams necessarily, but we want everyone to come and cheer on whatever the teams are that are here and show people that we, are very proud of the University of Dayton Arena, and we're very proud of our home here.
Officials say the first four brought in about $5.9 million in direct spending. That includes spending at places like hotels, restaurants, bars, and gas. The tournament is slated in Dayton until at least 2026. However, UD will have to bid to keep it here, which they are working on doing right now. Voters will be heading to the polls in just a matter of hours, and that could impact students across the Miami Valley, why schools are urging voters to pass new levies.
Plus, tracking winter-like weather today before we warm back up. That's coming up. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
Washington, D.C.'s cherry blossoms are now at peak bloom. It's the second earliest bloom on record, even beating the start of the city's festival by a few days. Speaking of blooms, it's now officially bluebonnet season in Texas. Beautiful fields of the state flower are often found right along state highways. And spring may start tomorrow, but winter is still alive and well in Goshen, Indiana.
Tomorrow, voters across the Miami Valley will be heading to the polls for the March primary election. In fact, several school districts in our area have levies on that ballot. And Dayton 24/7 Now's Lydia Bice caught up with two of those districts and breaks down those levies ahead of Election Day.
Tip City Schools and the Centerville City School District are asking voters to approve levies that would help with school buildings and day-to-day operations. In Tip City, there is an $87 million bond levy on the ballot.
That is for a pre-K-8 building and then the necessary demolition and abatement of Nevin Coppock Middle School and paying off the middle school cop lease as well. Those are the big pieces.
And in Centerville, a $3.9 million operating levy that would generate about $11.2 million for the district.
Funds will be used for operating expenses to maintain our current educational programming and services, and also to maintain and upgrade some of our additional services that we need, like mental health and safety services.
We asked these superintendents what they say to residents who believe they're asking for too much.
There's no question about that. This is a lot of money. The issue to me is not doing anything now or not taking a long-term approach only delays the inevitable, and it's just only going to cost more and more money down the road.
If the Centerville levy doesn't pass, there could be changes when it comes to staffing.
We would have to implement the second part of our reduction plan. That's our phase 2, and that would be some additional cuts to positions.
Superintendent Moran says that his district's levy is really about health and safety of students.
I'd say it's just overall, it provides us a 21st century learning environment that we don't have now. And again, health, safety, and well-being of the kids and staff is a priority.
And when asked if there was anything else he'd like to add, Superintendent Westney just wanted to remind Centerville residents about the resources on their website that provide lots of details on the levy.
We have a lot of factual information. A lot of information has been put there to help answer a lot of questions that we receive throughout the community, and get out and vote.
Now, that was Lydia Bice reporting. Tomorrow, you'll be able to find the results of those two school levies under the election results tab at Dayton247now.com. Yeah, it does not feel like we are one day away from the official start of spring. Take a look at this. This is snow in Springfield, Ohio, by the way. Springfield, Ohio. Let's make that clear. Natalie, it is cold out there today.
It is cold. It's not feeling like spring at all, feeling like winter. And this was a part of the heavier snow shower that we did see make its way through Springfield. Our eastern counties, parts of Champaign, Clark, and then into Greene County saw some heavier snow showers. For right now, just some light snow showers across the area with just cold air in place. Now, the good news is that we do warm up for tomorrow. And it's also going to be pretty breezy. So we'll wake up to 20s, and then by the afternoon, high temperatures back up to around 50 degrees. That's with some sunshine. So it'll be pretty nice, but it'll also be pretty breezy. And that's because we have another cold front that will be making its way through. That'll stream a few clouds into the area. By Wednesday, we'll wake up into the 30s. Wednesday afternoon, highs only back down into the 40s again. And it stays pretty chilly for the rest of the week as well. Notice by Thursday, we'll start out in the 20s again. Heading into the rest of the week, though, I will be tracking another chance for rain eventually. I'll let you know when, coming up in a bit.
Let's give you a live look tonight from the Capitol building. You can see it here behind me. Lawmakers, though, are now scrambling to avoid a partial shutdown. A federal government funding deadline is just days away, and Congress spent months averting shutdowns with that stopgap bill. It finally passed a package of 6 bills early this month to fund a slate of government agencies for the rest of the fiscal year. However, they have until Friday to fund several government operations, including some of the departments you see here on your screen. Homeland Security has proven to be a particularly difficult issue in the funding fight as Congress remains divided over the southern border. Tonight, we are hearing from one of the 16 female athletes now suing the NCAA. This here you see behind me is Riley Gaines speaking to or at a Republican fundraising event in Canfield yesterday. While in Ohio, she praised Ohio's bill banning transgender athletes from taking part in women's sports.
This state matters, this county matters in the way that it has turned over the past 5, 6 or so years. So I could not be more grateful to be here to share and express my appreciation for the leaders in this state who were able to swiftly and decisively act on HB 68.
Right now, the former college swimmer is suing the NCAA to stop them from letting athletes compete based on gender identity. Well, children who have access to books are more successful in school and beyond. That's why Dayton 24/7 now, we're partnering with Reading is Fundamental and our parent company Sinclair for Sinclair Cares supporting children's literacy. Just scan that QR code to join our virtual book drive. In fact, just $4 can put a new book in the hands of a child.
Well, National Weather Service completing some of the surveys that they have done across the Miami Valley, Ohio, Indiana, into parts of Kentucky. So I wanted to break down what we have seen. This is the Mercer County tornado, EF1, 100-mile-per-hour winds. This actually started back off into Indiana, had a path of 9.6 miles. This one here from Mercer into Auglaize County, 105-mile-per-hour winds, maximum width of 1,050 yards, and that traveled 16.1 miles. They're still trying to determine if perhaps this was just one long-track tornado. This is Auglaize and Logan, EF3, winds 155 miles per hour. That's a pretty significant EF3 tornado, the width of 1,000 yards, and that traveled at least 31.2 miles. Again, they're getting more to see if maybe it lasted a little bit longer. And then Darke in Miami County, this actually started as an EF3 back in Indiana, just EF2 damage in our region with winds of 120 miles per hour. So I'll have another look at your forecast, look at your 7-day coming up here in just a little bit.
We'll be right back. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
The Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
So back up to 50 degrees for tomorrow. That will be our first day of spring, so it'll feel a little bit better. But it does get colder, especially Thursday. Highs only in the mid-40s. Back up into the upper 40s Friday, Saturday, but that's still warmer than we are for today. So a little bit of improvement there. But here's a look at our next 7 days. Spring again begins tomorrow. Temperatures next several days only in the 40s, but we do begin to rebound by next week. So a chance for some showers in the forecast on Friday. Highs only in the upper 40s, but starting off next week, around 60 degrees by next Monday, with a few showers that will be making their way back into the forecast too. High temperatures back up to 60 degrees. Keep in mind, normal high temperature this time of the year, 53, normal low 34. So we will be below that number. And these next several nights, they're going to be pretty cold. We have a couple nights that we're going to be dropping well into the 20s. So I don't think I have to remind you guys, because I know nobody's really doing any gardening thus yet, but you still want to wait a little bit, because
Mother's Day, right? That's what they say. Always wait till Mother's Day.
Yeah, there are some things you can get away with before that point, but for most plants, you'll want to wait until Mother's Day when we start to get out of that freeze territory, because we got lots of freezing nights around the corner for us.
Yeah, I know. It's not going to go anywhere for a little while yet. It's spring, but it's not officially summer, although that'll be soon after.
My son asked me today, it was snowing. He's like, I thought it was spring.
Yeah.
I was like, well.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. We'll see you over on